Scenes such as this can be terrifying and even life-threatening. Domestic abuse is a good portion of the 911 calls we receive. You should be aware that Missouri's Adult Abuse Act provides protection for adults seeking relief from being abused, harassed, or even stalked. To begin the process of protection, the victim can apply for an ex parte order. We spoke with Detective Ben Caldwell of the Domestic Violence Section about what that means.
An ex parte order of protection is, the term ex parte means temporary by nature. So it's a temporary order of protection. It's an order that is granted by the courts or by the judge, and in essence it prohibits contact through telecommunication devices, computers, telephones, text messaging, direct presence, prohibits people from going to residences, businesses, schools, and it provides that protection until an order can be heard or until the matter can be heard before a judge. To get an order of protection, you simply have to respond to the county court in which you reside, wherever an offense occurred, or where the respondent, who is the person who is going to be served, where they reside. In one of those three counties you can go. Typically it's best if the person goes in the order or in the county that they reside in. Now, sometimes persons will need protection or need an emergency ex parte order protection. In those cases, they can go to any of our shelters and they can assist them with obtaining them. And there are some hospitals that can also help with an emergency ex parte order protection. And for those, I would encourage people to contact their local law enforcement agency, and they can direct them to those resources. There is no cost at all for an order protection. It is totally free and totally confidential. If they violate that order, the petitioner simply needs to call the police department and tell them that a violation has occurred. And if the respondent is present, that person may be arrested and held accountable immediately. Other times we may work the case and be investigated by the Domestic Violence Section and worked as either a potential felony, state misdemeanor, or city ordinance violation, depending on the circumstances. Both parties will end up in court for the full order hearing, and if they do not show, they will usually grant a continuance. Sometimes it's hard to get a person served with an ex parte order protection, and in those instances they will continue to grant what they call amended ex partes, which is essentially a continuance in the matter, usually another 2-week period, to give time for service or to give time for the respondent to appear in court, or for the petitioner if the petitioner cannot respond on that day.
In 2011, our 911 operators received over 43,000 disturbance calls. 8% of those were clearly identified as domestic violence at the time of the call, but many more are identified as DV assaults by the responding officer.